In this video I'm going to show some of the problems when using ROMrator to move the neutral rev limiters down for a two-step, and I'm going to show the two-step working with the shifter. I'll go ahead and apply a waveform to the input, and as you can see, as I bring the RPM up near 5,000 RPM, the fuel and the ignition both drop out. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and changed the clutch to use the neutral map. So I'm going to put the bike into gear, and you can see now I can go ahead and raise the RPM up and the limiter doesn't activate. Now I'm going to enable the clutch, and you can see that the limiter goes ahead and activates. This is what we would expect. So this would work fine except if you enable the shifter. So what ends up happening is if the RPM is up and I hit the shift button, you can see as long as I hold the shift button down, what's happened is it brings it on to that neutral rev limiter. So the ECM thinks that we're in neutral and it enables that lower limiter. So using these two features together today I don't think is possible. I've gone ahead and reloaded the ECM with a binary that just includes the shift algorithm, so the neutral limiters have been removed. Now if I push the shift button, you can see here with the red LEDs, which are the ignition, they hardly even turn off versus how long that fuel or the green LEDs turn off for. We look at the output of the ECM with an oscilloscope, and I go ahead and I select the ignition for cylinder 1 versus the fuel pulse for cylinder 1. Here we can see both waveforms. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and hit the kill switch. We'll see here if I can just capture this real quick. And you can see what's happened here is I got one pulse missing, and then 3 pulses active, and then the 4th pulse is missing again. And that's because the duration of the kill time is longer than 4 of the ignition pulses. So on the 5th one it goes ahead and kills. If this time were to extend out deeper, you would see 3 more and then another kill. So my concern is this: if I'm running with a secondary ECM and it's spraying fuel and has no way to shut it off, and it's spraying fuel and the ECM, the primary ECM, is continuing to ignite the fuel, I don't know if it'll unload the motor enough to go ahead and perform the shift. The other thing I don't like is it's going to be leaning out during the shift. Now what I've done is I've modified my box to change the way the harness would work for the shifter. So this would be a deviation from what the Boost by Smith harness has with the 68 ohm and the 4007 diode. Instead, I have an actual active circuit in there instead of a passive circuit. And I've also changed the way the shifter algorithm works. The binary that I have loaded in now has the two-step limiter set back at 5,000 RPM, plus it has the new shifter algorithm that I just finished up, and I also have a secondary map set up with it. So if I bring the RPM up and I have the bike in neutral, we can see again that the limiter activates. If I put the bike into first gear, you can see it doesn't activate, but if I hit the clutch, it does. So the two-step is operating normally. Now what I'm going to do, I'll release the clutch. So now you can see when I shift, both the red and the green LEDs stay off for the same length of time. So now you can see with the same oscilloscope that the fuel and the ignition are both off for the same duration.